Hey,
That's what's up.
dude, that is what I call a cheap-ass intro.
That's right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wash-Ups podcast here. I'm your host, Jackson Wolf.
I'm your co-host, Garrett Collins.
And we just wanted to give a little shout-out to our good buddy over there at Campbell University, long snapper, Jackson Hayes, being named Offensive Strength Player of the Week. And so how's your day going, Garrett?
Dude, it's going all right, man. This week's been kicking my ass, I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah.
So, I started wrestling and judo this week with my good buddy Joe Golin.
What is that? What is it? What is judo?
Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, it's just a bunch of my ass getting tossed around the floor mat. There's nothing like wrestling. I mean, it takes everything out of
It's
you.
kind of similar for you because you got slung around playing all those sports, and now it's just continuing on with wrestling.
No, we both know that's not true. You know, I honestly felt like I had a concussion the other day.
Speaking of concussions,
Yeah?
let's talk about who just got reinstated in the NFL here. Myles Garrett, after smacking quarterback Mason Rudolph.
I mean, straight mollywop. I mean, he had two linemen on him.
Slinging it. He wanted to get to him. Dang.
I'm kind of okay with it, not going to lie. I mean, maybe not the helmet tactic, but Mason Rudolph definitely deserved it.
Yeah, he did. I'm with Myles Garrett. I'm a huge supporter. He's one of my favorite players in the league now after he smacked Mason Rudolph across the helmet.
He just talks too much, man.
He does.
Did you see him afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, he probably
It's
didn't
just
know what he was
straight
doing.
being a crybaby about it.
Well, he probably had some brain issues then.
Yeah, honestly.
After he got smacked. I mean,
He should have been suspended.
Yeah, he should have for being a baby about
Yeah.
it. He should have just took the hit like a man.
Yeah.
Walked to the sideline.
First off, why mess with someone that big?
I don't know.
That's
I mean,
just
you got to
stupid.
understand that's a huge guy running at you, and you have no business, no
No
business
business.
starting anything with him.
Whatsoever.
It's his fault. It's his fault for getting smacked. Anyways, let's get into it. A little NCAA basketball here.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Okay. We'll talk a little March Madness coming up here soon.
Love March Madness.
Yeah.
It's honestly the only time I watch college basketball.
In my opinion, the most exciting sports tournament.
There's nothing like
This
it.
is March Madness. Nothing like it.
I mean, the closest I've ever seen someone in person come close to winning it was like Elite Eight, got them all right, and then boom, broken bracket.
Yeah, it's unpredictable, especially this year with all the teams.
Oh, I'm 100% winning the bracket this year. I'm getting the first perfect bracket.
Okay, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. So I'm going to open up here about one of my favorites, Florida State from the ACC. They're a veteran team, averaging about 75 to 80 points a game. They got this guy, Devin Vassell, shooting about 50% from the floor. And one thing about them is they got great leadership, and that'll be good heading in, getting deeper into the tournament. And they're one of the best defensive teams in the nation. And I think that's just really going to help them out.
Yeah, so I believe my first pick's going to be Baylor.
Yeah, they are the number one team in the nation.
So Big 12 people, you know, number one for 4 straight weeks. That's the longest streak this year so far.
Yeah, it's number one seed's been getting knocked right off the pedestal.
I mean,
all year long.
they've been in it past couple years too.
Yeah, they've been
I mean,
consistent.
They're a very complete team, probably the most complete team out. They're top 10 in defensive efficiency, and they can take care of the basketball and not too many turnovers. You know, I just think they're a good front runner in my opinion.
They are. But, another one of the teams I'm looking out for here is Duke. They got Trey Jones, who is one of the best point guards in the league, averaging about 15 points a game. As a whole, their team is second in points scored per game in the entire nation.
They also have that really good freshman.
Yeah, Cassius Stanley.
Yeah.
Cassius Stanley has been going off for them, one of the better forwards in the country. I just want to sit here and talk about them for a second, okay? We're going to talk about the Duke-North Carolina game.
All right. You know, I heard about that. I didn't get to watch it, but I believe I was out doing something. But I heard it was insane, man. I remember you blowing up my phone.
Oh, it was one of the craziest games I've ever seen. Okay, so they're down by 2, right? UNC's inbounding the ball. They get the ball, and the guy is going to turn, and a Duke player runs into him. Football hits him like a linebacker, and the ball rolls out of bounds. And the official calls it out of bounds Duke ball. And so they got bailed out there, which is terrible on the officials' part, but we'll ignore that. Mainly because UNC, they only shot like 55% from the free throw line, which is not very good.
Nah.
And they blew a 13-point lead. I'm pretty sure they were up by 13 at halftime, and then Duke just kept edging their way back and back and back. I actually told my mom I left to go Florence to go eat some Buffalo Wild Wings. There was about 3 minutes left in the game. I looked at my mom. I was like, "All right, Mom, I'm gonna head out." I think UNC's got it here because they were up by 10. And
Dude, it's UNC.
on the way.
They've been choking all year.
Yeah, they've been bad.
I mean, the whole season.
Yeah, they have. So I'm on the way to Florence, and I'm watching the game on my phone, and my mom texts me, and she says, "This is all your fault that they lost because you left and said that they had it in the bag." I was like, "Okay, Mom, yeah, whatever.
No.
That's why they lost."
No, it's just that rivalry, man.
That is, yeah.
Hands down, probably
I
the
think
best
it's
rivalry.
I think it's the biggest
I
rivalry
think
in
so too.
sports.
I think it's
College
the most
basketball.
watched as well. They went into the game tied with
Yeah,
wins
they were
against each
50
other.
and 50 against each other,
And there was
tied
like
with points.
Was it tied in points? I
Yes.
thought it was 2 points.
So Duke
Or it
ended up
ended
winning. Duke ended up
by
winning
2
by
points,
2
and that's what
overtime.
happened.
Trey Jones put on the bag there and
Yeah.
carried their way through. But now Duke's up 51-50 with 2 more points than North Carolina in the overall series, which is crazy.
Dude,
to
that's
me how that works.
That's insane. But I'll switch it over to another front runner that I have, and that's also in the ACC. Louisville. They're number 1 in the ACC right now. They're also number 5 in the country. What is it? 21-3.
21-3. Correct.
Yeah, and they're led by Wooden Award player Jordan Wara, who's averaging 20 points per game.
Yeah, he's been solid for them this season. Definitely their main guy, go-to guy.
Whack name though.
Yeah, that's true.
Team's top 5 in 3-point percentage in the country.
They are. They can shoot the lights out, and they proved that in the ACC this year. They're also number 1 in the ACC shooting the three-pointer, and that's gonna be big for them going into the tournament. That's what they need.
Absolutely.
And one other team we're gonna look at here is San Diego State out of the Mountain West. They are the last undefeated team in the country. Right
The
now.
last.
Yep.
And no one really knows too much about them though.
No, because they're in the Mountain West.
Well, yeah.
They're in the Mountain West. But they have 4 players.
Got some badass jerseys.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're definitely one of the stronger teams that nobody knows about. They got 4 players averaging double digits, and they're 4th in the country in offensive efficiency, which is huge. And they're ranked 4th in the country, but they're really under everybody's radar. They don't think they have a chance because they don't really play anybody throughout the year, except before conference play starts. They don't have anybody in their conference that is really worth a damn.
And another team to mention, Gonzaga.
I mean Gonzaga.
And every year.
Every
year. They're first in points per game.
And offensive efficiency. They're also number 2 in the country.
They were also my lead team last year. I thought they were going to win it all until, they got beat by, Texas Tech?
I think they got beat by Texas Tech.
Was it Elite 8? I think it was Elite 8 or Sweet 16. I think they have a good chance to bring it home as well.
Yeah, they do.
Obviously a number 1 seed going into it.
Yeah, they'll end up being a number 1 seed.
Well, since we are talking March Madness, and there's always that one team, let's do a little bit of underdog predicting.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm here with you. I think I'm going to go with Seton Hall
Oh, yeah.
out of the Big East. Miles Powell is by far my favorite to win the Wooden Award, which is the top player in the country.
Dude's a baller.
He's a baller. 21 points per game, leading them, putting the team on his back night after night.
I mean,
Miles
they're what,
Powell, the point guard.
16, 18? 18? I think they're 18. Ranked in the nation.
Yeah, I think.
I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but...
Seton Hall, they are
10th
10th in the country.
Shit.
That's exactly what Miles Powell can do. They also have a 7-foot center that nobody knows about, Romaro Gill, who averages 4 blocks a game, which is huge. That's
crazy.
He's 7'2", I believe.
He better be blocking 4 blocks a game.
Yeah, 7'2", standing there. I mean, you're basically a tree down there, like Taco Fall.
Almost. All right, so I'll mention my underdog team this year. I'm going to go with the Dayton Flyers.
Oh, Dayton.
Oh, yeah.
Dayton.
I always have Dayton in there. I love
Oh,
Dayton.
Steph Curry.
That's Davidson.
Oh, whoops. Never mind.
They're the first in the Atlantic 10 right now. They're fresh off a 13-win streak. I mean, they're killing it.
Killing it right now.
I mean, they're in stride at the right time. They're also second in offensive efficiency in nation, and they're also the best field goal percentage in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, they're led by Obi Toppin,
There we go.
small forward. He's one of the candidates for the National Player of the Year this year. I mean, he's averaging 19.7 points per game,
Oh, yeah.
7.9 rebounds,
He's a baller.
63.1% field goal shooting.
Yep, first in the nation. No
And
doubt.
it
He's
doesn't
a
stop
baller.
there. They also got a great player out of Jalen Crutcher. He's a guard, and he's shooting 14.7 points per game. He's also hitting key shots at the right time. I think they really got in stride at the right time, good pace, and I think they're going to go into the tournament, and they're gonna do some damage.
Yeah.
Watch out for them.
Yeah, I'm excited. March Madness. It's going to be a fun year this year.
It's always
about
a
to
fun
start-
year, man.
About to start conference conference tournaments. I'm gonna throw out this stat, by the way, for all you ACC fans out there. The ACC has won 4 of the last 7 NCAA tournaments. Let's just keep that in mind. As we mentioned, 3 front runners from the ACC is from Duke, Louisville, and Florida State. Let's keep in mind, Virginia did it last year. Duke's done it. North Carolina's done it. I mean, it's just talent everywhere in the ACC. North Carolina's having a pretty down year. They're like less than the ACC right now. But they got 4 McDonald's All-Americans coming next year.
4?
Yes, 4. And if Cole Anthony stays, they're gonna be North Carolina's gonna be right back where they normally are.
That team's
It's
going to
be
go crazy.
Scary.
Hey, on another note, though, you might have your future alum.
Hey.
Your future alum might make the bracket this year.
Hey, College of Charleston, they're looking good. I'm not gonna lie, we're first in the Colonial.
Don't y'all have Cam Reddish's younger brother?
Yeah, I think it's his younger cousin.
Oh, cousin?
Yeah.
Hey,
He doesn't
still
play that
blood.
much. Hey, yeah, that's the point. When it comes down to crunch time, he needs to get the ball. He's only a freshman though. But
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. Grant Riller, our point guard, the dude is insane. He should be All-American.
You think?
Yes, Division I with all these guys. I'm talking about. He is scary good, really underrated, averaging over 20 points per game. He's the leading rebounder, leading assist player.
Aren't
on
y'all
our team.
leading y'all's conference?
Yep, CAA. But yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do. We got to win our If we win our tournament, we get an automatic bid. If we win our conference tournament, we get
Automatic?
the winners of the conference tournaments get automatic bids.
What seed we looking like? 13, 14, 15?
I'm hoping we can get up to a 12 seed. I think 12
Hey,
is about
man,
the highest
pull
we can go.
pull off like Mercer and Duke.
Ooh, a couple years ago. Yeah.
Hey, I called that
You did
one.
call that
I
one.
called that
I'll
one,
give it
man.
to you. You did call
I
that
called
one.
that one.
We're excited. I'm excited for March Madness, though. This is going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
Conference tournaments. God, it's going to be great. But let's transition here a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we're going to move over to UFC. The fights this past night.
Absolutely.
This past weekend.
Crazy.
There were some crazy fights. I'm not going to lie. A lot of them came down to decision. There were a couple knockouts.
I mean, not the most exciting. And you didn't have the biggest names. But, I mean, it's coming off of UFC 246, which was a big one.
McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you get John Jones. I mean, that's pretty
Yeah,
Pretty good.
Let's talk about the card first.
So just to get into UFC 247, the main card started out with Derek Lewis and Ilir Latifi. Actually, I don't know how to pronounce that dude's name.
I thought Latifi was going to get him, to be honest with you.
Absolutely not. It's Derek Lewis, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about Derek Lewis.
Okay, maybe I don't. When I saw him coming up, I was like, that guy's the man.
Dude, Derek Lewis,
He was grown.
one of the most entertaining fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, post-fight. You ever heard him talk to Joe Rogan, man?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, after the fight, I was everywhere. After the fight, man, Joe Rogan's like, hey, man, wash your pants off, man, you know? He's just like, man, my balls is sweating, bro. live. And then he goes, how about a fight with whoever was next in his lineup. This is about 2 fights ago. He's like, man, I ain't even worried about that. I need to do some cardio, boy. He's over there sweating. He's so
Big boy.
big, bro.
Big
He's so
boy.
funny, though. Funny, man. I had Derek Lewis. I'm glad he came out with a win. I'm glad he's back in that win column.
Yeah, that's
I
good
want to
for
see
him.
where he goes from here. I hope he gets back up there. But moving on to the next fight. Also a decision between Dan Aj
and
Mirsad Bektik.
Bektik. Yeah, this matchup. Nick Smith, a buddy of ours, owes me $10. Okay,
Not paid.
he has not paid yet, and I'm calling him out, and I'm upset about it.
You hear that, Nick?
Before the fight, I called Mr. Dan Ig, whatever, over Bektik, okay? And he said he would think about it. And then before the fight, he was like, oh, okay, all right, I'll go with you. And he didn't pay up, and it's hurting my feelings now. It's been almost a week, and the dude still hadn't paid up.
A week.
Almost a week.
You got to start charging interest, dude.
Yep, I know. It's
I
gonna
mean,
go up
you got to
$5.
come at that kid like the IRS, mobster style. You hear that, Nick? We're coming for you.
Coming for you, Nick. Better get my $10 ready.
Anyways, moving on to the next fight. Finally, we got us a knockout.
Justin Tafa
Justin Tafa.
against Juan Adams.
Round one knockout,
They were
bro.
going at it. They were
I
going
mean,
at it
he
the whole
came
time.
in there.
It was great. He came in there swinging from Australia.
It was a nice, quick fight.
Yeah.
Finally
We needed
good
that
to see a knockout
because all the other ones
on the
were
main
some-
card.
Yeah.
All right, moving into the ladies at
The ladies,
flyweight.
The ladies.
We had a title match between Valentina Shevchenko and Caitlin Chukagian.
Chukagian. Yeah,
That.
whatever. Yeah, that.
Chukagian.
It's safe
We'll
to say-
figure it out.
Safe to say,
Safe to say,
she didn't know her name by the end of the fight either. Because she
got knocked the out.
got knocked.
Knocked out.
Shevchenko outstruck her 57-27. Look, Caitlin Chukagian landed 0 strikes to the head, while Shevchenko landed 26.
Valentino Shevchenko is going to keep that title.
Yeah, and she's gonna
I think she's going to be holding on to that
She's
for
gonna
a
ride it.
while.
She's gonna ride it.
She's going to ride that
ride
wave.
that wave. Ride
Oh,
that
yeah.
wave.
All
Let's
right.
get into this main fight because I
The
am
biggest
for sure
controversy
ready.
I've seen in MMA in a little bit. Like, it's been a
It's
time.
been a while.
John Jones won by unanimous decision.
Okay.
They marked it 49-46,
Ridiculous.
48-47, and 48-47 again. All right, now you can get into
Okay,
it.
so here's what I'm gonna say. Dominic Reyes won the fight. Reyes had 119 total strikes. That's 41 to the head, 48 to the body, and some other to the legs that we aren't gonna count here. John Jones only had 107. He landed 31 to the head and 30 to the body. Okay. Somehow, so who was it? Reyes won the first round. John Jones won the second round. Reyes won the third round. John Jones won the last two, right? Correct.
It was never announced, but
That's what had to happen because Reyes obviously won the first and third. That was.
I think it was
that
first and
automatic.
second.
No, first and third. Reyes was
Talk
on top.
about
Was
that.
all on top of John Jones. Here's what I get. Here's why I think John Jones won. So, I think first off, I agree with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan said that the scoring system was seriously flawed in the UFC.
Yeah,
Because
he was
it's
pretty
just-
mad
it's
about
just
it.
3 people.
It is. It's always been. It's the same way in boxing.
Yeah, but like his problem was that the UFC judges were experts on boxing and not UFC. And so here's what I just want to throw out there. John Jones had what, three takedowns? 3 takedowns?
Yep. No, two. He had two.
2? He had 2 takedowns.
Yep.
He didn't do anything with the takedowns. I understand takedowns hold a huge weight in scoring. But if you don't do anything with a takedown, I mean, does it really count? I mean, it's basically like you're tackling to the ground because Reyes got back up every time. Like, he just got right back up every time, or both times John Jones put him to the ground. So what I don't understand is, so here, I'm going to throw this analogy at you. No, I'll let you go. You go. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So just to touch on the whole judging system, you said they're boxing judges. Well, if they're boxing judges, they probably would have leaned towards Dominic Reyes. John Jones likes to use his feet. Dominic Reyes is a boxer. He is a boxing style striker. John Jones, he'll use his hands, but he likes to use his feet mostly. He also likes to go to the ground. He's also a wrestler.
He did outweigh strikes to the legs, to the lower body. I'll give him that. He did do that.
Now, where you said it was round 2, I think it was round 3. I think that Reyes won round 1. I think that Reyes won round 2. Round 3, honestly, my opinion could go either way.
I would have been fine. If you want to be honest with you, I would have been fine if they would have called her to draw.
I think
and let him fight another
that's
time.
what I was getting into. I do believe this fight should have been one of the draws we've had. I mean, they had the draw between Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar, and they had it between Frankie Edgar and Gray Maynard. I mean, they've had draws. This is a title fight.
Like, yes, it's a headache. You can't. The judge that scored at 49-46, he was
on crack.
He had to be. There's no way.
No
John
one.
Jones was that
He
far
might
ahead.
be the only person to think that way. That watched this fight.
Yes, unless you.
I'm married to John Jones.
Yes.
I mean, unless.
Yeah.
John Jones probably wasn't even way that way.
John Jones even said Dominic Reyes had his respect
Yeah,
after the fight.
he did.
I think there should be a rematch immediately.
What I think the big thing was that really determined the decision at the end was those round 4 and round 5.
Well,
They were completely dominant.
I realized that 4 and 5 went to John Jones without question, but Reyes thought he had won rounds 1, 2, and 3, and 3 holds more weight than 2, apparently, right?
Yes.
3 rounds holds more weight than 2 rounds. So if you win 3 out of the 5 rounds, you should win the fight. That's why he went low, and
I think round 3 was a big turning point in the fight.
Yeah.
I believe that's when things kind of flipped Jones's way. I believe Jones was moving forward, and that's when Reyes started to back up, which you see later in the rounds 4 and 5. I think that's what they focused on. I don't necessarily agree. I believe it was a draw, in my opinion. I literally observed it. I watched it over again. Couldn't come up with a predicament where one outweighed the other. And I believe the biggest factor is that it is a title shot. It is a title match. And in order to be the champion,
you got to beat the champion.
You got to beat the champion.
Absolutely.
And I don't think it was that dominant of a performance. Yeah, it was a great performance. Yeah, I think it's one of the best fights best fighters. John Jones probably the most difficult fighter he's had to deal with. But I still don't think he did enough to really top that off, especially when the UFC, they're biased towards champions. They aren't just going to give it to them.
Yeah.
And I think another thing to think about is the last 2 rounds, how they were fresh on those judges' minds. I mean, you watch this guy. Reyes comes popping out. I mean, he came at him first round. Second round, too. Third round, it kind of it's up for grabs. And then 4 and 5, it was domination. You could see that Reyes just wasn't there. He was out of breath. I mean, he was tired. He was drained.
I'm going to throw this predicament at you. I'm going to throw this example at you. You and me are fighting, right?
Yep.
You outstrike me, okay? So you're hitting me.
Yep.
And you're beating up on me like crazy.
Yep.
Face, body, head, everywhere.
Yep.
I take you down twice, and it's not a takedown where I get on top of you and hit you. I basically tackle you to the ground, and you get right back. You fight through it and get right back up.
Okay.
But I win. But the judges say that I win. How does that work? You would say that you won that fight, didn't you? And that's why I think that Reyes won the fight. I realize the scoring and all that is taken into consideration, but from a person outside looking in at the sport, I feel a takedown, you should have to like make a move with him or something. He didn't even make a move or put him in any kind of
He did. He did get a hook one. He got a hook in, and that is points.
Okay.
He did have control. a minute and 41 seconds.
Okay. You did have control.
I don't necessarily agree that takedown should win you the fight, but I think the 2 takedowns won it. They're judged the same as knockdowns. That's what won him the fight. Also, his accuracy in the last 2 rounds.
And the fact that they were in Houston.
I believe another way, if you're going to view it as a street fight, you got to take what I heard in Joe Rogan's podcast with Rashad Evans this past week. He said, let's take, for instance, you got a fight on the playground. This dude beating the mess out of the other dude. All of a sudden, the other guy starts beating the absolute crap out of him. And he's beating him and beating him. And then they stop the fight.
Second kid won.
The last person beating up on somebody is probably one of
the.
But you can't judge it off that. You want to know why? Because you have rounds. There's no stopping in a street fight. You don't stop and start and stop and start. It's just a weird way to view this situation. I believe it should have been a draw.
Should have been a draw.
I mean, 49-46.
Yeah.
Absurd.
48-47. I can get by with that. 49.
But I was surprised with Dominic Reyes.
Yes, I was too.
I mean,
I didn't think he had
great
a shot.
fighter. No, I thought he did. I mean, I think it's his best shot. I mean, John Jones is running out of people to fight. He's 26-1. He didn't really lose his one fight.
Yeah,
it was at
illegal.
DQ.
It was illegal.
It was at elbow.
Elbow. Yeah.
I mean, came straight down on it. It's not allowed. He has the most title defenses now. Beat George St. Pierre. 14 or 15 title fights. He got denoted for one, which is what kind of, I was a big Jones fan, and that kind of hurt me a little when, he couldn't get off the coke for the DC fight. Yeah. That one got me a little mad. But, I mean, look at his resume. His title shot was against Shogun Rua, elite fighter.
Elite.
Then he carries it, and then he's facing Chael Sonnen, where he just absolutely dominated another Hall of Famer. Rashad Evans, household name. Lyoto Machida.
Machida?
He choked out Lyoto Machida. I mean, choked him out. Like, Machida didn't tap. He let him take him to just knock him out. He beat Rampage Jackson.
I really think he's the good.
It is debatable. I mean, with a resume like that, he's just running out of people to fight. He's going to have to do rematches.
That's
and
why
then with Reyes
should be the next rematch.
I think it might be. I believe there's only 2 fighters in the light heavyweight division that John Jones has to fight. I mean, they're both rematches between whether it be Dominic Reyes or whether it be Thiago Santos. Those are the only 2 that I think.
That's what I heard he was going to fight next.
I think those are the only 2 that really gave him somewhat of a challenge. I mean, obviously Dominic gave him more, and it's still up for grabs there. But at the end of the day, he won, and I do believe Jones' days are getting numbered. I mean, he's averaging 15 minutes of a fight. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time, especially holding that belt. And whether that be through giving up that title through retiring or just slipping up in one of his next few fights, I don't know which one it's going to be. It's hard to see him losing a match in the future.
It might take him losing the match for him to see that he needs to retire.
Maybe so. I just don't think there's that fire underneath him like there used to be.
He's getting up there in age.
Yeah, he's outlasting them, but you can't just have that.
He was slow.
Bearing down on you.
He was slower.
A lot slower, yeah. Fight. And I mean, I just don't think he's got that fire lit right underneath him anymore.
Okay, well, one thing we can agree on is that it should have been a draw.
Should have been a draw, 100%.
Okay.
All right, let's get back to what we started on.
What we know best.
Absolutely.
What we know best. We're going to get here into the XFL, and wow, did we have some fun. This past weekend.
The best weekend possible. I mean, the start of it was great.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was trending on Twitter within an hour of the first start for the first kickoff.
Everybody was looking at the kickoff. They're like, the NFL needs to be doing this right now.
I mean,
right now.
No one.
Let's get. Hold
No
on.
one knew that
You were
outcome
telling
would
me-
come,
you
but
were
I'm
telling
so
me
great.
something. You were telling me something about the XFL and the NFL.
Oh yeah. So I was talking to one of my buddies, and he mentioned something to me. I was like, maybe. So what he had said was that the XFL and NFL need to come into partnership. Players should be able to drop down and play during the off season, like the Drew League. And then why not have the best team in the next XFL play, the worst team in the NFL, and the winner of that game gets to play in the NFL, and the loser of that game stays or goes to the XFL for that year.
So
I mean,
that would be
players and
great.
all, just switch. Coaching staff, 100%.
That's great. So so let's say DC won this year, and the worst team in the NFL was the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals.
The Bengals should hop down to the XFL.
They'll play each other.
Maybe Andy Dalton will do something. Probably not.
Probably not.
Let's
He's
say
still not that good.
Cardell makes it back to the NFL.
And leads the DC Defenders to a Super Bowl title.
All right, let's be honest. He'll lead them to like 3 wins, tops.
They'd probably beat the Redskins.
Yeah, I mean, the Redskins, I guess they're starting over.
Yeah, they need to. New coach Ron Rivera.
All
Let's
right.
shout out to let's get into that another day. Shout out to our buddy.
We're just joking on you.
Who's a long-time Redskins fan who's going through some trouble with his sports teams right now.
It'd be like that.
But let's hop on the XFL. So let's talk about these games. Start off with the first one. Seattle and DC Defenders. Final score, DC won the game, 31-19.
Over under.
No, they were under. They went under.
I thought they met the spread. Okay.
Yeah. So they covered.
They
covered the spread.
Covered the spread.
And the first half, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was kind of worried. Then Cardell Jones just turned it on in the second half. Got his arm loose.
He really did. He shined.
Ended up with 283 yards and 2 touchdowns, 62% completion percentage. Top target Eli Rogers.
Yeah, Eli Rogers surprised me. I mean, I knew he was going to be a ball player and a target, but I didn't know he was going to be that number one.
Yeah. On the other side of Seattle, Brandon Silvers didn't have that bad of a game.
No, it wasn't terrible.
He threw 3 touchdowns
but he also threw 2 interceptions.
2 picks, and they were both pick sixes, actually.
Yeah.
They're both interceptions for touchdowns. One was to a linebacker. Can't recall his name right now.
No, it was safety.
And the other one was one was to a safety and one was to a corner.
One was to safety in the corner.
Yeah, they were both pick sixes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I mean that. Yeah.
Austin Prohl, 5 for Seattle, 5 catches, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns. Scored the first touchdown in the XFL.
That was something to see.
Pretty cool young kid out of North Carolina, looking to get up. Kind of a Hunter Renfrow type player, I would say.
I'd say so.
I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Other side of the ball, Steven Johnson for Seattle led the team with 8 tackles. DC's defense really caught on there in the second half.
Second half for sure. First half they were struggling, especially like with the run game.
Jameer Thurman led the team with 8 tackles. Elijah Campbell.
That was who we were talking about to each other during the game.
The whole
game.
He's the one that shut down.
It wasn't Raheem Moore who had the pick six as a safety.
No.
It wasn't Bradley Salve from Bama that got the pick six and really kind of closed off that game. But I think the most impactful defensive player was Campbell.
Who he was the guy who got the block punt, right?
Yeah, block punt for a touchdown.
Which really shifted the momentum there.
He was shut down. No one would pass to him. 2 to 3 deflections. I think he's going to be a good cat for them. He's just a good ball player.
Yeah. You saw there in the second half the flag football defense for Seattle.
Yeah, we called that one, didn't you?
Yeah,
you called that one, yep.
It came out in the second half.
We do.
Let's get into the second game here. L.A. Wildcats versus the Houston Roughnecks. Houston ended up winning 37-17.
Dominant performance
by Philip Walker.
Absolutely.
I was wrong. I gotta what is it? What's the saying? Eat crow for this one. I called LA winning this game because of their defense. Their defense did not show up.
Matter of fact,
They
after
got
the game,
torn apart. Yeah.
they got rid of their defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator got fired after
Pepper
one game.
Johnson turned into Salty Johnson.
Fired after
One game in the league.
That's terrible.
Cutthroat. Good for that coaching staff.
Philip Walker though, the NFL Star of the Week.
Yep, Star of the Week. XFL Star of the Week.
23 for 39, 265 yards, 4 touchdowns. First drive of the game, hit Cam Phillips in stride down the sideline, 50 yards, touchdown. Just ran right by the DB. I mean, it was they had a great game. Just overall, as a
Incredible
team,
performance.
their running game was strong. James Butler, 9 carries, 30 yards, and a touchdown. Mentioned Cam Phillips. Cody Brown on the defensive side led the team in tackles. And LaTroy Lewis is the XFL leader in sacks.
Yep, with 2.
2 sacks.
Yep.
LA, they didn't do much on offense. Their starting quarterback ended up being Charles Kanoff.
I did not see that
I
coming.
did not see that coming. He was one of the guys that we didn't mention because we didn't think he had a shot.
He wasn't too bad, though.
No, he didn't do bad. He 200
mean,
yards and a touchdown.
I didn't see him running in, though.
It was a QB sneak. That was their first score. It was a QB sneak. Or it wasn't a QB sneak. It was a 3-yard touchdown run. He had 4 rushes for 21 yards. Nelson Spruce, 11 catches, 103 yards. The first 100-yard receiver in the XFL. He had a big game, even though they couldn't get it done. Defense let him down. All right, let's get to the third game here. The Tampa Bay Vipers and the New York Guardians.
The biggest upset of the week.
Most impressive win for sure. New York ended up winning 23-3. I was so unimpressed by the Vipers. So unimpressed.
A lot of people had the Vipers winning it all.
And they came out and did not do a thing.
They couldn't get anything going for them.
Now let's not. I mean, they outgained New York by 168 yards.
It's there.
They couldn't finish. They got to correct their mistakes, and they'll be all right.
And they got to get some red zone efficiency to them.
Yeah.
They got to put some points on the board. They got to figure out who needs to be where and how they need to get that done.
Aaron Murray played awful. In my opinion, he didn't handle the hype at all.
That say the least.
Multiple times he rolled out when he didn't have to. It made him look scared. Like he didn't want to sit in the pocket and deliver passes. He was 16 for 34, which is about 50%, and didn't even throw a touchdown through two interceptions.
And he also had a fumble.
And fumbled.
2 fumbles.
I think
he lost it to the D, but yeah. You can't.
Williams, the tight end, is the leading receiver in the XFL now. 6 catches, 123 yards. He had a solid game. The other tight end, they had, I can't recall his name at the moment. He ended up with 2 fumbles as well. I mean,
yeah,
he had the one-handed catch that was pretty good.
Yeah, saw that.
But the main thing with them is getting Quentin Flowers involved. Getting him involved is going to help them out tremendously, because when he was in the game, it opened up a whole new level of offense, kind of like how Deebo Samuel does for San Francisco.
Absolutely.
He can sit there at quarterback. He can throw. He can run. I mean, he opens up the offense with reverses. He can do anything.
With that being said, do you think Tampa Bay is going to stick with Murray, or do you think they're going to switch it over to Q Flowers?
I think they'll stick with Murray for now.
I think so, but there has been talk that he's on a day-to-day right now watch for questionable. He's questionable with injury because he went down a little bit in a later part of the game. So I think that's gonna be the problem they're gonna have to fix. Maybe. I mean,
Flowers needs to get involved.
We came into the season thinking he was gonna outshine everybody, and
Philip Walker took the spotlight from him.
Big letdown.
I would like to publicly apologize.
Yeah.
To Matt McGloin.
We went off on Matt McGloin.
I bashed him pretty hard, and he came in there and played great. 182 yards, a passing touchdown, and a QB sneak, a rushing touchdown. He had great throws. Made great throws all throughout the game.
Yeah.
Led them to the win. Darius Victor, their running back, was just a beast.
He's a monster.
He was catching balls out.
Catching, and he is a big back, man.
He's big.
And he's receiving like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was doing everything for him, really. Mikael McKay, wide receiver, 58 yards. He had a diving catch to set up
That was nice.
score. It was nice, laid out. I thought he dropped it at first, but I saw the replay. Ended up being a catch. Defense for New York was shut down. They were all over the place.
Like we said, it was led by Ben Henney.
Ben Henney.
And also Bunmi Rotini.
Bunmi Rotini.
They both had 9 tackles.
9 tackles. And they both showed out, and I was really excited. They were both involved with one of the fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
The defense, as a total, ended up forcing 3 fumbles, 2 interceptions, and they got the quarterback for 5 sacks. 5 sacks.
That's
they were
an
all
incredible
over.
defense performance.
So the Vipers need to figure out something with the offensive line and with their quarterback. Cut down on the penalties, and they'll be all right. They can correct those things. They'll be okay, but they need to do it fast because it's not looking good for them right now.
They went projected number 1 down to the last slot.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later, though.
Game 4, last game, St. Louis and Dallas, which was a nail-biter. A nail-biter.
This was a match that I didn't predict.
I predicted this one, the upset, week 1. We are both 2-2, by the way, in our picks.
Yeah.
We're 2-2.
50%.
Which isn't too bad. We might separate a little bit this week. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going for that 100%. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
For this week.
But so this game, St. Louis ended up winning 15-9. I hope nobody bet the over, because it was like 50-something points. Jordan Ta'amu carried the team.
I'm glad to see him back.
Big plays. Running, passing through, was 20 for 27.
He did it all.
Completion percentage, 209 yards, a touchdown. 9 rushes for 77 yards, and he broke one straight down, right up the middle, went down the sideline.
That's not the only one that added to that run game.
No, Matt Jones. Ended up getting the starting spot, who we were looking at between him and Kristen Michael, who didn't really offer that much. But Matt Jones, 85 yards on 21 carries. So he was definitely the workhorse.
Absolutely. I think he's going to carry that into the next game as well.
He's the leading rusher, right?
Yep, leading rusher.
XFL now. DB, Darius Hillary, 9 tackles, led the team. Marquette King, let's talk about this punt now.
The most insane punt I've ever seen.
He averaged about 45 yards a punt on about 5 punts.
Which is very solid.
Which is NFL.
Yeah.
Punt. He punted the ball, and it bounced in between the legs of the returner and sat on the 1-yard line.
I mean, that was something there that we missed.
Yeah. I think what the return... So what happened was it bounced in between the legs. It looked like it might have hit the returner. It landed on the 1-yard line. A player from St. Louis dove on it into the end zone, so it ended up being a touchback. But he shouldn't have touched it. It was going to be down on the 1-yard line. It was a perfect punt. Let's get to Dallas real quick. So Dallas, Philip Nelson. They couldn't get it. They didn't score a touchdown.
Nope.
Philip Nelson, he completed 79% of his passes, which is not bad. 200 yards and an interception.
We didn't get to see Dungy.
Landry Jones.
They need him back.
High probability will be back next week.
They need him back.
Yeah, they do, because without him, their offense...
I mean, Philip Nelson is not that bad, but he's not scoring.
No, and that's what they need. Landry Jones, like I said, the first XFL signing, he should be back next week, projected to start, depending on how he feels.
They have a decent defense, too.
Their defense had about 9 tackles for loss.
Yeah.
So that's they had a solid game, and they were coming at St. Louis. They were shutting them down. It's just at the end, Ta'amu put on the bag.
Yep.
They outrushed Dallas. 191 yards. To
The best
58.
ground game so
58
far.
yards so
I mean,
far.
every other team is pass first, and I believe we finally got some ground game
Which is
started.
great. So let's get into this. Did you see the XFL replay official using the Xbox controller? How awesome is that?
That's awesome. Obviously, when that camera's not on him and we don't see him in the booth.
He's playing COD.
He's playing COD. I don't know if he's playing Madden, but he's not. He doesn't have to do anything.
You know what? Conspiracy theory here. He's controlling the game.
You think
He's playing the game.
he's playing the players?
On the Xbox. He's playing the game as the players on the
Something
Xbox.
to look into.
I think that's a high possibility. I think the NFL should start doing that replays.
I think that we should get an XFL game coming soon. Shout out to EA Sports.
Yeah, what's up with the EA? Come on.
Let's
Give
give us
us
an
an
XFL.
XFL game.
Absolutely.
Give it to us.
I mean, you're not going to give us NCAA.
Give the people what they want.
These people get paid.
Yeah. No excuses here.
No excuses.
No excuses.
I mean, maybe finances.
No NCAA to get in the way. They're partnered with ESPN and the NFL.
I understand not doing it first year, but 2 or 3 years down the road, it's not flopping. You've seen that.
Give the people what they want, and what they want is a new video game, the XFL.
And give it like a 24 slot expansion team so I can create my own team, you feel me?
Yeah. Let's get the squad on there. Put the squad on there.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Week 1 in the books.
All right.
Here's our top teams.
Top teams. Let's hear them. Teams 1-0.
Taking the number 1 spot, we have the New York Guardians after their dominant performance.
Dominant performance.
Then we have the Houston Roughnecks.
Offense showed out.
Absolutely.
Philip Walker is in control there, and he's looking for the first MVP for the XFL.
I see it. Our favorite, DC Defenders, coming in at 3.
Yeah, they had a solid performance. Got the win.
I mean,
shaky in the first half, came back.
They did as well as I figured they would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 4, a little surprising for me.
St. Louis, they're 1-0, so they had to be there at the standings.
Number 4. I mean, obviously the standings, but I was talking about after the win.
Oh yeah.
I mean, about the win. St. Louis Battlehawks coming in at 4.
Okay.
5 seed.
Still kind of confused about where St. Louis is, but
It's Missouri.
okay.
The big arch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Missouri.
Okay.
It's the gateway to the west.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you for my geography.
Just some geography for
My
you.
parents said I needed to work on that.
Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know where Seattle is though, which is the number 5 team.
Yeah? Where's that?
The state of Washington.
Okay.
Washington
There we go.
State.
There we go. And then number 5, Seattle Dragons,
Okay.
the first 1-loss team.
Which they're proven to be the top 1-loss team right now. The way they played. We talked a lot of junk about them. They came out and punched
We
DC
did
in the mouth.
a little bit.
Yeah, in the first half.
And the first
in the
half.
first half, they did.
Yeah. All right, number 6, we got the Dallas Renegades.
That with Lance Jones back, they'll get it together.
I think they'll move up.
They'll get it together.
Number 7, we got the Los Angeles Wildcats.
That's surprising. LA, they hopefully they find a defensive coordinator before the next game.
I would hope so.
In a week. I mean, they might pick up somebody off the street.
I mean,
LA,
hey.
if you need a defensive coordinator, I got you.
I've seen the longest yard.
Hey, for real.
They only had one coach.
The LA Wildcats also have Adam Sandler at QB2.
Yep.
He just changed his name.
Yeah. Number 8, rounding out the bunch, we got Tampa Bay Vipers at number 8.
Yeah, I mean, once they get their stuff together, they'll be all right. I mean, they struggled the first game. The coach, I saw a video of them Tuesday watching film. He said, "We're gonna be on. The film's not gonna lie. We're gonna go over what we need to be brutally honest, so we can correct the mistakes." And that's good for Jim Horn, coach, to send a good message to his players about rebounding.
They'll be back.
Yeah, they'll be all right. Okay, so let's get into the week 2 games. Pick'em record. Me and Garrett, we're both 2-2.
50-50.
I'll take it right now.
Shooting for that 100% next week.
Okay. So, first game, Saturday, February 15th. 2 o'clock, New York Guardians at the DC Defenders. DC back-to-back home games. Take it.
I think this is going to be the biggest game.
Game of the week.
Game of the week.
Game of the week.
100% game. This is the Wash-Ups game of the week to look at.
The Wash-Ups game of the week. I like it. Let's roll with it.
All right. I'm gonna have to take DC. I'm ride or die with DC right now. I think they got a good game in under their belt. I mean, obviously, New York Guardians showed out.
Yeah, they did. I think I'm gonna take DC too. It's a close one. It's a toss-up.
DC doesn't have a quarterback problem.
They
We
don't.
see that their quarterback is leading in QBR right now.
Yes, Cardell is definitely one of the top two QBs with Phillip Walker. He's up there. I'm not going to talk junk about Matt McGloin this week.
No, but he is facing a good
Great defense.
backfield.
Yeah, back seven.
Back seven.
That creates turnovers. You saw that last game, and they'll be able to get. I think the defensive line will make plays and get to them. They got to slow down the run game.
Yep.
Which Guardians are a very physical team. They like to establish the run.
And that's going to give them an advantage there.
And it really is just dependent on the Cardell-Rogers connection. We saw it last week.
6 receptions.
6.
Like 70-some yards.
And they need to keep that connection going.
But you also have Rashad Ross down there.
Rashad Ross, who had the long touchdown catch, it was a 51-yard touchdown catch. And they got to get the tight end involved.
Another player or players to watch out for is that nasty linebacker core.
Yeah, linebacker core.
With Bertini and Henney.
Yeah, those are two solid guys. Definitely top two linebackers right now.
We'll have to see if
the best linebacker duo.
We'll have to see if DC gets that run game going. I don't know. It's going to be hard against that team. A good defense.
So let's move to the second game here.
5 o'clock
5
p.m.
o'clock.
Eastern.
Tampa Bay Vipers that travel to Seattle Dragons. God, this one's a toss-up too because I don't know how Tampa Bay is going to rebound. Who are you going to take?
I think it's going to depend on the Aaron Murray situation.
Okay. Do you like cheese on your burger?
Yeah, I like cheese on my
Okay.
burger.
Okay.
I can eat cheese. Cheese isn't bad for you.
Okay. American or white American or regular
Dude,
American?
either one. Cheese is cheese.
It's nice with cheese. Sorry for that interruption. We had dinner plans to tend to. Okay, so Tampa Bay, Aaron Murray.
Aaron Murray, do I think he's going to bounce back? I think Tampa Bay is going to – I think they're going to bounce back. I think they're going to get their first win. I don't know what to say after that. I don't know what will happen after week 2, but I think they'll get it against Seattle.
Okay, we'll split here. I'm going to go Seattle. I'm interested to see Brandon Silvers against Glanville's defense. And I know Tampa Bay, they just got to correct the mistakes, but I feel like it's going to take more than a week. If they get Quint Flowers involved, it'll be a lot.
That's what I'm
better of a
thinking.
game. But I don't know if they're going to do that. I think they're going to stick with Aaron Murray and keep him in the game and not put Quint Flowers in the game as much as they should. So I'm going to go with Seattle. I think they'll establish the run game, and that'll open up the pass game for Silvers, who didn't play bad against DC. One of his interceptions was because the receiver slipped and fell. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for this game. This is a toss-up too. The next game's on Sunday, February 16th. We got the first game at 3 o'clock. Dallas Renegades travel to LA. I'm going to take Dallas. I'm not a big believer in LA right now, just because they fired their defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So unless they hire somebody off the street that'll be worth the crap, I don't think they'll be able to get it done. Landry Jones is going to be back. I think he'll tear them up. I want to see LA bounce back. I want to see him compete. I don't want him to get blown out, but I think Dallas is going to handle business.
Yeah, I think it was a shaky start for LA, and I don't think it's going to get any better. So I'm going to take the Renegades here as well. And a lot of that is because of Landry Jones coming back. One of the most experienced quarterbacks we have in the league.
Who actually got a lot of playing time in the NFL.
A lot more than most. I think he's had the most.
Yeah, out of anybody.
I think so. Or him or Matt McGloin.
Yeah, they both played in the NFL, but Landry Jones got a lot of reps with the Steelers when Big Ben was out.
The Wildcats were not impressive to me.
They were not.
At all.
Game 2, 6 o'clock. St. Louis Battlehawks travel to Houston to face off against the Roughnecks. I understand TheWash-Ups had a great game. I'm taking Houston. Phillip Walker, that man is something serious. He looks great running that offense. Who you got? Who you going to take?
I think this is also going to be a really fun game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You got two mobile quarterbacks. And, I mean, everybody likes to see that, especially after we got a little hint of Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson.
My boy Deshaun Watson.
All of them. And I'm going to give this win to the Roughnecks.
Okay.
They got such a high caliber offense. I don't think the Battlehawks are going to answer back with their defense.
That's what's going to come down to if St. Louis's defense can hang with Houston's receivers in the back seven, and I think one of the biggest differences in this game is going to be if Houston's defensive line or front seven can contain Jordan TheWash-Ups, because we saw him scramble a lot against Dallas, and that helped them win the game. So if they can contain him, I think that'll give them the game.
I also don't think that the Battlehawks have really played a great or good offense like they're going to get out of this Houston team.
Yeah, Houston's definitely one of the top offense right now.
Yeah, and I think that'll show.
Okay. About the XFL, I'm excited about it.
Still excited.
First week,
I mean,
looked great.
Camera angles were great. It's ran by two of the top broadcasting agencies, and you got Fox,
ABC,
ESPN.
I mean,
I think
that's
FS1.
One of the things I liked the most about it was the kickoff. I love the new kickoff.
I do too.
Love it. Absolutely.
I'm waiting on someone to break one.
I am. I was waiting for it.
I thought it was going to happen.
There was a couple guys.
I saw one. I forget who it was. I think it was either the Houston LA game. Mm-hmm. I might be mistaken.
He broke one. The Houston returner broke one.
And he had a good run.
I thought he was going to get it.
I thought he had it.
It's going to happen.
I was waiting for it. It's going to happen. Whether it's week 2 or week 3, it's one of those.
You got any big predictions this week? Any hot takes for this coming week?
For the XFL? Let's see. You want me to name my star player of the week?
Yeah, let's go to that.
Star player of the week. This is an offensive game. Offensive league.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to take a defensive player on this. I'm going to stay on the other side of the ball. And I am going to give this to Dan. I'm going to give this one to Dan Williams, tight end for Tampa Bay Vipers.
Think he's going to have a big game again?
Absolutely. I think he's going to carry that on, especially against that weak defense that Seattle has.
He was definitely their player of the week.
Absolutely.
You know who I'm going to give it to? Good old Cardale Jones.
He's
gonna have to have a big game.
He's going to have to get the win.
This defense of New York.
That's what shied me away from that defense.
So I think he's going to have a big game and get it done there at home in D.C.
Let's hope so.
That's it. All right, it's about time for us to head out. We got an exciting weekend of sports.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up. Let's see, more XFL.
Absolutely.
All-Star Weekend. NBA.
Slam dunk competition. I'm waiting for it.
I got Dame Lillard, by the way, 3-point competition.
I hear you. What about Team LeBron, Team Giannis?
I'm gonna take Team LeBron.
I'm taking Team Giannis, man.
All right. College basketball got some big matchups.
And about coming down to a close for the tournament.
Yeah. And finally, drum roll, please. College baseball
Yes,
is
sir.
back this weekend,
It's back,
starting
baby.
Friday, and we could not be more excited. Could not be more excited.
We pretty much have every sport going all at once.
This is great. It's a great time.
A great time
of
of
for
year.
sportsmen.
Absolutely.
Now with the XFL, it just caps it all on top. Pitchers and catchers just reported for the MLB. It's
great.
Gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Friday college baseball starts, right?
Yep. It's gonna be
a
so
great time.
much fun.
So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, like we said last week, let us know what we can improve on. Also, if you have any takes you want to talk about or some questions to ask. Last week, I said that we would have an Instagram page posted underneath this video. We decided that we didn't want to do the Instagram, and instead, we were going to switch it to a Twitter account.
Hello, Twitter.
So follow us on Twitter. Like and retweet all day, every day. We're going to try and keep that posted as much as we possibly can. Get some good information. We'll be retweeting a lot of stuff that you'll be able to see. So if you want to catch up with things throughout the week, that's something we can keep you up to date with day by day.
Any kind of hot takes you can send to us on there, and we'll be posting all kinds of stuff, keeping y'all updated in the sports world.
All right. I'm Garrett Collins.
This is Jackson Wolf. And this concludes the second episode of the Wash-Ups podcast.
All right, let's go get something to eat.
All right, let's go, bro. I'm hungry.
Dude, plus I got Mike Pence coming to the school tomorrow.
And I got daggone write a philosophy paper. Damn. All right.
All right,
Why
let's
are we
go.
doing this?
Yeah, let's go.
We need to go.